It's a beautiful world, but it doesn't seem to be a perfect world. At least I suspect most of us have some ideas about how we would improve on creation, like getting rid of all those pesky mosquitoes or deer flies that bother us in the summer, or having every day be sunny, or at least those days when we want to play golf or walk along a beach. Yes, I'm sure most of us have some idea as to how we would change creation to make it better. Yet we know that mosquitoes provide food for birds, and we want to keep birds around for the beauty of their songs and their flight, which makes our spirits soar. And we need clouds and rain as well as sun. Okay, so maybe our ideas for improving God's creation aren't all that well conceived, but what about those things that aren't minor irritations and inconveniences? What about natural disasters like earthquakes and tsunamis, hurricanes and floods that kill thousands of people? Why did God create a world with those things? When we get to why questions like this, we're moving into shaky territory because while it's natural to ask such questions, ultimately we have to be humble and answer that we do not know. God is the creator, and we are creatures. And on this side of eternity, we don't have all the reasons for why things are the way they are. In fact, through the prophet Isaiah, God said, "My thoughts are not your thoughts, nor are your ways my ways. As high as the heavens are above the earth, so high are my ways above your ways, and my thoughts above your thoughts." Our minds will always grapple with tragedies and suffering, and we will ask, why? Why did God, who is all-powerful and all-loving, create a world in which things like natural disasters occur? In the end, we come to humility and faith. We are not God. We are, as Isaiah says in other places, clay, and God is the potter. Therefore, the clay should not say to the potter, "Why are you doing it this way?" We humbly say that we do not know why God created things the way He did, and then in our humility, we make an act of faith and trust in God. And along with humility and faith, we come to love. We don't have the answers, but we do have the reality that some of our human families suffer every year because of one natural disaster or another. After each disaster, the Holy Father, usually in his weekly Wednesday audience or on Sunday when he prays the Angelus in St. Peter's Square, asks for prayers and help for the victims of these recent disasters. Now, during this month of January, he wants us to remember not only those who were affected by recent disasters, but those who are trying to rebuild their lives after disasters that happened some time ago. It's easy to forget the victims of the earthquake that hit Haiti 2 years ago this month, or the victims of the tsunami that hit Japan in March of last year. But they, the victims, continue to need spiritual and material comfort and support as they work to rebuild their lives. In fact, last January, Pope Benedict said, "On the occasion of the first anniversary of the terrible earthquake that bereaved your country, dear Haitians, I am united with all of you to assure you of my prayers, especially for those who died. I likewise wish to give you a word of hope in the present, particularly difficult circumstances. Indeed, it is now time to rebuild not only the material structures, but also civil, social, and religious coexistence. The mystery of the feast we have just celebrated, Christmas, is the mystery of a God who loves us not from far away, but who entered into human existence, becoming vulnerable and sharing in our sicknesses and weariness, our pains, and even our death. God shared our suffering, and He invites us not to forget those who are still suffering from past natural disasters. We do not know the why behind the natural disasters that caused their sufferings, but we do know that they are suffering. And like the Good Samaritan, who didn't ask the man who had been beaten and robbed and left for dead, "Why did this happen to you?" but who responded to that victim's need, so we see those who struggle to rebuild their lives, and we open our hearts to them. May our prayer that the victims of natural disasters may receive the spiritual and material comfort they need to rebuild their lives move us to look for ways to help.